by the power of Grayskull.
If hearing those words just sent a chill down your spine or made you instinctively reach for your nearest mop handle to raise triumphantly in the air, congratulations, you're officially a Gen X kid at heart. Cartoons in the 80s were scheduled events we planned our lives around. Whether it was rushing downstairs on Saturday mornings or racing home after school, they weren't just TV shows. They were appointments that you did not want to miss. So what made 80s cartoons so special? Well, for one thing, deregulation under the Reagan administration. I know, weird place to start, right? But in 1984, the FCC relaxed rules about children's programming, and suddenly, toy companies could create entire shows specifically designed to sell toys. Our parents called it crass commercialism, and we called it awesome. So let's count down 5 iconic cartoons that helped shape an entire generation of us, with 5 more coming in part 2. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more nostalgic TV deep dives. And without further ado, let's dive in. Coming up first, we have the original muscle-bound hero himself. He-Man burst onto our screens in 1983, and suddenly every kid was raising whatever object they could find and shouting about the power of Grayskull. The premise was delightfully straightforward. Prince Adam, who disguised himself with, just a change of clothes and slightly different hair. Anyway, he'd transform into He-Man whenever Skeletor was threatening Castle Grayskull, which shockingly happened once per episode, usually right after Skeletor screamed something dramatic. He-Man's transformation sequence was pure 80s magic. The raised sword, the lightning, the instantly deeper voice declaring, "I have the power!" How many household objects did you break trying to recreate this moment? Broom handles, umbrellas, baseball bats, nothing was safe from our He-Man reenactments.
I am not nice, I am not kind, and I am not wonderful. Oh, fools, if you think you can stop me. Oh, and don't let me see your mangy hide around here again. Oh, tin-tongued dolt, I'm talking about my patience, not my body.
And Skeletor? What a villain! Has there ever been a more entertainingly incompetent bad guy? His insults were legendary. "You royal boob" somehow passed the censors and became playground vocabulary. His evil laugh deserved its own credit in the show.
I'm only here to capture the traitor I told you about.
He-Man perfectly embodied that toy-driven cartoon approach that defined the 80s. Colorful heroes and villains with easily identifiable traits, simple good versus evil storylines, and of course, a toy line where every character and vehicle on screen could be purchased at your local toy store. It wasn't subtle, but we loved every moment of it. This wasn't just entertainment, it was a marketing revolution in action, and let's be honest, we didn't just watch it, we lived it. And let's not forget He-Man's twin sister, She-Ra. She got her own show too, but we'll save that story for part 2. He-Man's legacy continues today. After several reboots and revival attempts over the decades, Netflix recently brought back the franchise with Masters of the Universe Revelation in 2021, a more mature take aimed squarely at those of us who grew up with the original. Meanwhile, a live-action He-Man movie has been in development limbo since the early 2000s, with various directors and studios attached over the years. As of 2024, Netflix dropped the planned film adaptation, continuing the franchise's long journey toward a live-action comeback. Now we're going to go from bulging biceps to belly beams. Let's trade swords for sunshine and dive into the most emotionally powerful squad of the 1980s. That's right, it's Care Bear time. At number 2, we have the cuddly crusaders who fought with feelings instead of fists. In 1985, a bunch of colorful bears with symbols on their tummies took over our TVs, and somehow weaponized emotions became a hit TV show. The Care Bears were actually greeting cards before they were toys or a TV show, one of the rare 80s franchises to go that route instead of the other way around. American Greetings created the franchise just as they did with Strawberry Shortcake, another greeting card character that made the leap to TV and toys. These bears lived in clouds, traveled on rainbows, and solved problems by shooting beams of good feelings from their belly symbols. The Care Bear stare was essentially emotional warfare. They'd line up, blast feelings from their tummies, and somehow this would defeat whatever problem they were facing. Now, if only this worked for my anxiety. And can we talk about the villains? For a show about cuddly bears, they had some legitimately creepy bad guys. No Heart was basically the Grim Reaper if he did community theater. Professor Coldheart looked like he failed the audition for a Dickens villain in a theme park musical. And Darkheart from the movie? That guy gave me nightmares and probably trust issues. The Care Bears were revolutionary because they made it okay for everyone, including boys, to talk about feelings.
Cheer up, Carl.
Huh? Who said that?
I'm Cheer Bear. I'm here to cheer you up.
In the era of action heroes and explosions, here was a show saying, hey, it's cool to care about stuff. Plus, they basically pioneered the idea of personality matching for kids. Before BuzzFeed was asking, which 80s movie hero are you? We were debating which Care Bear matched our soul. Now, I'm definitely Grumpy Bear now, but I aspired to be Braveheart Lion as a kid. The Care Bears never really went away. They've been rebooted multiple times with new shows like Care Bears Welcome to Care-a-Lot in 2012 and Care Bears Unlock the Magic in 2019. The bears got updated designs and new adventures, but kept their core message about the importance of emotions and caring for others. In a world that sometimes feels like it needs more caring, these colorful bears keep finding new relevance, proving that shooting feelings from your tummy never goes out of style. Alright, now I need to know, which of these cartoons was your ride or die as a kid? Were you collecting He-Man figures? Did the Care Bears help you process your feelings? Or were you just trying to convince your parents to order pizza because the Ninja Turtles made it look so good? Let me know in the comments section below, and since we've felt all the feelings, now it's time to grab a slice of pepperoni and crank the volume, because the next crew made sewer living and shell armor look totally radical. Cowabunga dudes, because it's time for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Taking our third spot, these heroes in a half shell took the world by storm in 1987. In 1987, someone pitched an outlandish idea. 4 turtles mutated by radioactive ooze named after Renaissance artists trained by a rat to fight a guy in bladed armor. It's the kind of pitch that shouldn't have worked, but it absolutely did, and it became a cultural juggernaut. The theme song told us everything we needed to know. Leonardo leads, Donatello does machines, Raphael is cool but rude, Michelangelo is a party dude. Character development? Completed in 1 line each. It felt like the Turtles' pizza obsession practically turned pizza into a food group for kids. Suddenly, every child in America, me included, wanted to eat pizza while shouting Cowabunga. Michelangelo didn't just eat pizza because he was pizza. He had marinara in his soul, I swear by it. The teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles definitely came through in their eating habits. What's more quintessentially teenage than demolishing an entire pizza in minutes? I know I did back in the day, and if I did that now, my stomach would hate me. The villains were peak 80s weirdness. Shredder, who dressed like a cheese grater with shoulder pads. Krang, a villainous alien brain from Dimension X, looked like the grotesque cousin of the comic book Utroms, and the Foot Clan, who were supposedly menacing ninjas but got defeated by teenagers with shells. What's fascinating is that the original TMNT comics were black and white and much darker in tone. The cartoon's transformation into the colorful pizza-loving heroes we know was a complete reinvention that made them accessible to kids everywhere. The cultural impact was massive. Movies, video games, endless toys, and even a concert tour where the Turtles played instruments and sang. TMNT was everywhere, and we couldn't get enough. The Turtles have had incredible staying power since their debut. They've starred in multiple movie series, from the 1990s live-action films with those amazing Jim Henson creature suits, to the 2014 Michael Bay-produced reboot and its sequel. They've been reimagined in multiple animated series, with each generation getting their own version of the heroes in a half shell. The latest reboot, Mutant Mayhem, hit theaters in 2023 with a fresh animation style and teen actors voicing the Teenage Turtles. And the momentum continues with a confirmed sequel and a Paramount Plus animated series in development. Through all these iterations, they've kept their love of pizza, their distinctive personalities, and their ability to get kids shouting Cowabunga. Proving some things never go out of style. Switching gears from mutant mayhem to mechanical madness, we're going full go-go Gadget into the world of the most lovably clueless cyborg detective ever programmed. Let's check in with Inspector Gadget. Bumbling in at number 4, we have everyone's favorite bionic detective, who was always one gadget short of solving the case. Introducing us to the world's most oblivious cyborg detective, the show was made even more memorable by Don Adams, famous for his role in Get Smart, voicing the titular inspector, and the menacing Dr. Claw, brought to life by legendary voice actor Frank Welker. The show's concept was genius in its simplicity. A bionic inspector with gadgets for every situation, except detecting that he's not actually solving any cases. Every episode, Chief Quimby would give Gadget a self-destructing message. Gadget would accept a mission against the evil Dr. Claw, and then proceed to bumble his way through it while his niece Penny and dog Brain did all the actual work. Go go Gadget, arms! Go go Gadget, helicopter! Half the fun was seeing what would pop out of his hat, fingers, or coat. The other half was watching those gadgets malfunction spectacularly. Inspector Gadget showed us the truth about tech. It's always full of promise, it's prone to fail, and it's way more impressive when handled by your dog. But let's talk about Penny, the true hero of this show. This kid solved basically every case behind the scenes using her computer book and watch, technology that basically predicted smartphones and smartwatches decades before they actually existed. Between her brains and Brain's literal disguises, they were the perfect team behind Inspector Gadget's accidental success. Watching as kids, many of us probably realized we were more like resourceful Penny than bumbling Gadget, and that was perfectly okay. Dr. Claw was peak villain mystery. We never saw his face, just a metal hand petting a cat while growling, "I'll get you next time, Gadget." When they finally made a toy that revealed his face, it was such a letdown. Some mysteries should stay mysterious, especially since the original show made a point to never reveal his face on screen. We didn't need to see Dr. Claw's face, we just needed that growl and a cat. Inspector Gadget taught us an important life lesson. Sometimes the people getting all the credit aren't the ones doing the work, and sometimes your dog is secretly saving the day while wearing disguises. Speaking of which, I haven't heard from mine in a while. In 1999, Disney brought Inspector Gadget to the big screen with Matthew Broderick donning the trench coat and gadget-filled hat. While the movie and its direct-to-video sequel didn't quite capture the magic of the cartoon, Inspector Gadget has remained in the pop culture conversation. The character returned in a CGI animated series in 2015 that ran for an impressive 4 seasons, 78 episodes total, ensuring that a new generation of kids could experience the world's most oblivious detective and his much more competent niece and dog. Now that we've solved some crimes thanks to mostly the dog and the niece, it's time to bust some ghosts. Grab your proton packs because we're calling in the Real Ghostbusters. Rounding out our top 5, who you gonna call? I think if I say any more, we might get demonetized. But when this animated ghost-busting team premiered in 1986, they proved movie-to-cartoon adaptations could be absolutely incredible. The show featured an impressive voice cast, including Maurice LaMarche as Egon, Arsenio Hall as Winston in early seasons, and Lorenzo Music, known as Garfield, voicing Peter Venkman before being replaced by Dave Coulier, of Full House, of course. After the massive success of the 1984 movie, this cartoon continued the adventures of Egon, Ray, Peter, and Winston as they caught ghosts around New York. They added Real to the title due to a trademark dispute with Filmation, which owned the rights to an unrelated 1970 show called Ghostbusters. So yes, the 80s were weird, folks. The show turned Slimer from a disgusting movie villain into a lovable sidekick faster than you can say merchandising opportunity. Suddenly, this green blob was everywhere. Toys, drinks, and equal parts gross and lovable. A recurring nightmare we strangely wanted plush versions of. What made this show so special was how genuinely scary it could be. That Boogeyman episode was nightmare fuel. The Sandman episode made me afraid to go to sleep. They made Are You Afraid of the Dark look like a bedtime story. For a kids cartoon, they really didn't hold back on the horror elements, and we loved it. The Real Ghostbusters expanded the universe from the films, adding complex mythology and ghost types that went way beyond what the films had established. It wasn't afraid to get weird or creepy, and it respected kids enough to handle some genuinely complex storytelling. Plus, it gave us all permission to randomly shout, "Who you gonna call?" at inappropriate moments for the rest of our lives. The franchise continued with the 2016 reboot Ghostbusters Answer the Call, and the 2021 legacy sequel Ghostbusters Afterlife, which picked up decades after the original films. As of 2024, the sequel Ghostbusters Frozen Empire continues the story from Afterlife. The cartoon's influence can be seen throughout these later iterations, particularly in how they handle the ghost designs and mythology. For many fans, the Real Ghostbusters remains the definitive expansion on the Ghostbusters universe, proving that sometimes the spin-off can be just as impactful as the original. And there you have it, 5 80s cartoons that shaped our childhoods. Which of these stuck with you the most? Did I unlock a memory you'd forgotten about? Does your brain still automatically sing these theme songs at random moments? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss part 2 where we'll cover 5 more iconic 80s cartoons. Ring that notification bell as well so you don't miss it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go dig through my garage for my old lunchbox collection.